We love easy meals. Let's make some easy dinners this week. Tonight for dinner, we are going to make this beef chuck roast. Now, we got the idea for this because last night we were eating dinner, and if you were here for this video right here, you saw me make a Southern slaw side. So we had that to go with our dinner last night. It was delicious, and both of us were sitting there thinking, man, this would be really good on like a barbecue sandwich or something like that. So we're gonna do kind of makeshift, like a vinegar-based type of thing. I am not following a recipe here. This is just flavors that I know we enjoy that work together well. So we're gonna do this in the Instant Pot. You can absolutely do this in the crock pot, but it is already 3:16. So if you were making this in the crock pot, my suggestion would be low and slow. Cook that thing all day long. This is huge. We got it at the farmer's market this morning. Okay, this is going into my Instant Pot, not my crock pot. Let me wash my hands. I am going to be using our favorite Auntie Nono's everything seasoning. You guys already know how much we love this because we use it all the time. Now, when you use the Auntie Nono's everything seasoning, you do not need to use salt. You do not use salt. This replaces your salt. But truly, this stuff can go on everything, okay? We are gonna be sprinkling all sides of our chuck roast. You wanna get really good flavor. Love this stuff. I'm telling you guys, we put it on so much stuff. We use it in the air fryer. We use it in the crock pot. We use it on like sheet pan dinners. All right, make sure you get the sides like I'm doing here, lifting up, tilting over, and getting the sides. Let me wash my hands again. Like I said, this recipe is somewhat experimental. We just know what flavors we enjoy. I'm gonna add in some apple cider vinegar, and honestly, normally I would only use apple cider vinegar, but you can see I have very little. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use the rest of this. That's probably only a half a cup. And when you're using your Instant Pot, especially for a meat of this size, you probably need at least a cup almost out of vinegar as well. So I'm gonna put in another about a half cup of regular white vinegar. And then one thing that I love to add to a roast like this, or if I'm making like a vinegar-based barbecue sandwich, is orange juice. Now, if you don't have orange juice, that's okay. Get some lemon juice or something like that. You need a citrus. Okay, so we're just gonna pour a little bit into the Instant Pot here, about a half cup. That's pretty much it. That's all I'm doing to this because it really doesn't need anything else. So let's put our lid on. And I am gonna cook this on 90 minutes high pressure, and that's it. Now we just wait. Oh, you make sure your valve is sealed and you're good to go. This is gonna be so delicious. We're gonna make some really great sandwiches out of this. Let's open this up and see what it looks like. It's been cooking for 90 minutes. I also let it slow release for 23 minutes, and then we did the quick release. Let's see what we've got. All right.
Ooh, I can use my claws.
I know, but we gotta taste it first. First of all, we gotta know, oh yeah. You think it's, oh yeah. It's falling off, all right. What, don't take my fork. Now I gotta get another one. Oh my goodness, it's really falling apart. So that's good. We are going to shred this, pour some of those juices back over it, kind of mix it together in there. And then I might put a little bit more of that Auntie Nono seasoning on there too. I think I'm still gonna pour a little bit more of the juice over the top. A lot of bit more of the juice over the top. This is just gonna set to the side. We're gonna make up sandwiches. You guys know we love the artisanal bread. Well, today I saw the artisanal buns, and you know I have to try those. Have we tried these? I feel like maybe we have actually tried these. I've got the buns back here on the stove, and they're just grilling in a frying pan that we were actually using to make sausage in for meal prep. And so I went ahead and grilled these buns right here. As you can see, I'm gonna put a little bit of mayo on them. You're out of Cholula. Remember when we used all of it the other day to make the firecracker chicken, which if you're curious is in this video right here, and it's so delicious. Look at the beautiful color that these got from just throwing them on the stove for just a minute. Really good flavor. That Auntie Nono seasoning is so good. And then on that you get that like tiny hint of apple cider vinegar and orange juice. It's very, very good. I just let it sit to the side for a couple of minutes. Perfect that way. Sandwiches are made. Look how good these look, guys. These are gonna be so perfect for dinner tonight. Today's video is sponsored by Auntie Nono's, and this should be no surprise to you guys. This is not new. I've been using this here on my channel for a while now, and it is delicious. We are talking about the trio that they have, and so the first one is the everything seasoning. This has essentially replaced salt for us. Anytime something requires salt and pepper, I pretty much will just use this instead. It's a savory blend of spices. It's really, really delicious. Do not use salt with this. It is going to replace it. The next one is the firecracker sea salt. Obviously, this is also gonna replace salt if it's something that requires salt, but this one is a little bit spicy, so you're gonna get some heat to this. One of my favorite ways to use this one right here is actually on eggs in the morning. It takes your eggs to the next level. It's so delicious. Then you've got the seafood seasoning, and this one is very good too. You've got lemon and paprika and mustard. This one is delicious as well. Obviously, our most used one is this one right here, the everything seasoning. I actually have two. I have an unopened one for when we run out of this one. The other two do last me a little bit longer, but man, we fly through this everything seasoning. When I say we use it on everything, I even made a sandwich for lunch this afternoon, and I just put some tomato and mozzarella and some basil and just sprinkled some Auntie Nono's on that sandwich. So delicious, so easy and so good. These seasonings are one of those things that just makes cooking foolproof. I mean, you don't have to know how to use different spices and stuff. Now, you guys know I always have a discount code for Auntie Nono's. It's always in my description. It's always there ready to go. But for the next 7 days, you're gonna get 50% off instead of my normal discount code and free shipping. So you wanna take advantage of this right away when you see this video. If you miss it though, and you're past that 7-day window, using my discount code, you're still gonna get a discount on these products. Highly suggest that you check them out. Take advantage of this flash sale. All right, friends, tonight's dinner is one of those things that it is really easy, but it looks like it took a lot of time. This is Meatball Wellington. Stay tuned. In my mixing bowl here, I have 1 pound of ground beef. We're gonna add about a ½ cup of breadcrumbs. These are Italian style breadcrumbs. You use whatever kind you like. Roughly a ½ cup. We do need to add 1 egg, and my son is going to do that. We're gonna add a pinch of salt and pepper. All right, let's add in some garlic. We need about 3 cloves. I am gonna put in some fresh parsley. You do not have to do this. You can add dried if that's what you have or you prefer. All right, we also like to add some Italian seasoning into ours, so I am gonna be adding that. A little bit over a teaspoon, right around a teaspoon. We're gonna move over to my KitchenAid mixer and attach the bowl and just let this do the work for us. We are gonna make 4 pretty large meatballs because this is gonna be the bulk of our protein. And then if there's any leftovers or extras, I'm gonna make just some little meatballs that we can eat in, you know, I can make up a quick spaghetti, or we can just eat them by themselves over the next couple of days. These are going under the broiler for about 7 to 9 minutes. I'll watch and make sure that they don't get overcooked or anything. So while the meatballs are in the broiler, we're going to go ahead and shred up some cheese. So this is a Parmesan that we're shredding. Good. Oh, turn it around. All right, the only kind of mozzarella that I currently have on hand is a fresh mozzarella. So we're gonna do a little bit of it. All right, we're mixing these together just a little bit here. And then that's gonna be ready to go for when our meatballs come out. The meatballs have been in there for about 9 minutes. We're gonna get started on our dough. My oven is also going to be set now to 400 so that it can be preheating. Okay, I'm gonna put some flour on my counter. We're using a puff pastry sheet. You can find these in your freezer section at your grocery store. Mine is thawed. So thawing it makes it easier to unfold it. I am going to actually roll mine out. But before I do that, I'm gonna cut it into 4s. Part of the reason that I am going to cut it into 4s first is because I have a mini roller, not a full-size rolling pin. So it will just be easier to cut out 4 individual squares or roll out 4 individual squares. We're gonna take some of the cheese that we had, Put it at the bottom.
Do you want
I'm gonna place a meatball in the center here. Add some more cheese to the top, even though it's gonna fall off, but that's okay. We want a good amount of cheese in here. And we wrap the pastry around. I'm going to do my very best to seal it.
Really tight.
We've got all of our seams pinched, and I'm going to put this on my baking sheet, seam side down. All right, we have 1 egg here with about a tablespoon of water. We're gonna mix this together to make an egg wash. So we're just gonna brush each one of these with the egg wash. I'm adding a little bit of salt after we add the egg wash. You don't have to do this, but the puff pastry has no flavor. These are going in my 400-degree preheated oven for about 25 minutes, and they should be good to go. All right, you guys, here is tonight's dinner. We've got that Meatball Wellington, and I served it over the pasta sauce. My family has been asking for spaghetti, and this is not something that I make very often because it's just one of those things where I forget about it. We're gonna be using our Auntie Nono's everything seasoning. You guys know we love this seasoning. We're gonna make this so delicious. All right, over at my stove, I've got a pot out here. I've already got some 1 pound of ground beef that's ready to be cooked up. So we're gonna do that first thing. And I'm gonna show you how I make my spaghetti sauce. You can absolutely just brown up some ground beef and throw your favorite pasta or spaghetti sauce into that. But I'm gonna show you how we do it. And it's so easy and so simple. So if you don't have a jar of spaghetti sauce on hand, you probably have all the ingredients for this. All right, while this is browning, you guys know we're gonna toss in some of our Auntie Nono's everything seasoning, get this meat nice and seasoned. And we are not gonna be adding any salt to this because like I told you guys, we do not need to use salt when we use this. So I added roughly 1.5 teaspoons or so. It's gonna give it really great flavor. I have been making this spaghetti sauce same way for so long, so I really don't measure anything anymore. I'm gonna try and give you guys like rough estimations on what it is that I'm putting in here and how much it is, but we kind of have done for a long time just a dash of this and a dash of that. The next step is adding these 2 ingredients. I like to add a can of tomato sauce and a can of diced tomatoes. If you don't like tomato chunks in yours, that's totally fine. I would just add 2 cans of your tomato sauce, and then you're gonna prevent that. Another thing we've done plenty of times is crushed tomatoes, and they are delicious in this. For the can of diced tomatoes, I do pour some of the liquid off. I just feel like it gets a little too watery if I don't. All right, another thing that I like to do here is take my mix and chop and kind of dice up the little tomatoes a little bit more. You can buy the petite diced tomatoes. I think those are a little smaller, so it's completely up to you how you wanna do this part. Actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about lunch tomorrow, and it might be nice to be able to have this for lunch tomorrow. So I think I am going to add another can. My heat is still on medium. I did turn it down just a smidge. And I'm gonna, this next ingredient is a little bit controversial. If you've been here at my channel, you guys know we prefer savory over sweet. However, I do think about 1 teaspoon of sugar is really good in this because it cuts the acidity of the tomatoes. Let's add in some minced garlic, and I like to add in a good amount. This is probably near 1 tablespoon. And another thing that I really like to add is Worcestershire. So we're gonna add a little bit of that. It probably comes out to right around 1 teaspoon or so, maybe a little more, maybe 1.5 teaspoons. Now we have to add in some Italian seasonings, adding those Italian flavors. So I'm probably adding about a teaspoon. And because we don't actually use onion in ours, I am gonna add some onion powder, probably a teaspoon. I never really was a fan of spaghetti growing up. It was one of those things where, yeah, it was a convenient meal, but it's just not something that I enjoyed until I started making my own spaghetti sauce, and it was a game changer for me. Since we make our own sauce now, it's honestly become one of those things where it's requested in my household. Now, you can just let this simmer. It's pretty much ready to go at this point as long as everything is heated through, but you can let this simmer and just let all those flavors work together, which is what I'm gonna do. You can let it simmer all day if you want to. So I'm gonna let this simmer for about 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so, and then they'll be ready to eat. Before we serve this up on some noodles, let's give this a taste. I'm just gonna try the sauce, make sure it doesn't need anything else. Look at that steam. It's perfect. That is exactly how we like it. I hope that you guys enjoyed these easy dinners. You guys know easy dinners are just awesome. Setting your week up for success, coming in, making a good hearty meal for your family, but also keeping them easy. I love that. I hope you're having a great week. Bye. Oh, let's throw this away. We don't need that in the frame. So you guys, we're gonna make some really great sandwiches. You're out of Cholula. Remember when we used all of it the other day to make the firecracker chicken? Delicious. All right, Dwight.
All right.